So what you are going to see right now is a gameplay of the Rise of the Empire, new expansion for Imperial Settlers, recorded by David and Paul, and this is the content that we originally published in the form of the live stream at our Twitch channel. So Portal Games has a Twitch channel, visit us at twitch.com/portalgamesus. And we stream there a ton of gameplays of our games. You can learn how to play Monolith Arena, you can learn how to play Neuroshima Hex, you can learn how to play Imperial Settlers and Emperors of the North, and there is a ton of contributors, amazing content, lots of videos, and one of these videos that we decided that we'll take from the Twitch and publish here on our YouTube channel to give you like a preview of what's happening at Paul and our Twitch channel. So have a seat, have a great time watching Paul and David playing Imperial Settlers, Rise of the Empire, learn about this expansion, and then go to Twitch channel, subscribe there and see gameplays, live streams every single day. We are insane, giving you tutorials and how to play videos every single day. Stay tuned and have a great watch. Bye.
All right, we're live. Hello, everybody. How's it going?
Welcome.
I've got my brother David here with me this evening.
Hi.
I'm Paul. I'm with the Dicey Review, and I am super excited because tonight we get to play the new Rise of the Empire expansion for the best game ever made. Fight me, bro. This is the best game that's ever been released. This is my favorite game of all time. This is the game that got us into the hobby. This is Imperial Settlers. And a while back, there was an expansion released for free. So there was DLC released for free that had this really cool kind of open world expansion where you could go, and it was a solo expansion basically. You could go and you would capture all these territories, but the more you captured, the more you had to upkeep. And there was this sheet that I had laminated and all this cool stuff. Portal has completely developed that campaign mode and now released it to where more than one person can play, which is fantastic. We just got a chance to kind of dig into this, and hopefully y'all will enjoy being able to see this tonight as we kind of go over a little bit what the expansion does, the main differences. This is a campaign expansion meant to be played over multiple different game sessions, and you will actually have little campaign sheets. Let me see if I can pull them up here on the close-up camera. Let's see here.
While Paul's doing that, don't forget to go and pre-order your copy of
absolutely.
Rise of the Empires, because it's on pre-order right now. It's coming out soon.
So it's a little bit too close for this one, but you can see you have this different campaign sheet that has these different eras. Everybody starts off in the antique era, and you have to name your little faction, and then you list what faction you're playing, and then you kind of progress. And the more you progress, you mark off different provinces that you have to pay to keep up. So it's kind of a cool engine building campaign even, which is fantastic because this is already a great engine building game. Other than that, the differences in gameplay are, there are really no major differences in gameplay in the first few games. Basically, we will pick a faction. We're going to play only 4 rounds instead of 5 rounds. And then the biggest difference in the first game is that we have quests that we can do. And I will show these quests because these are different. Basically, the quests are different goals that we will try to achieve. So like this one right here says that we need to have 3 black, gold, or pink production buildings in our empire. The first person to do this would be able to achieve this quest. And this is going to give you something that, like a little bonus that you get immediately, but it's also going to let you cross off sections on your progress track for that particular quest type. There are 3 different quest types. There's like knowledge, economy, production type thing, and then there's military and diplomacy. And so for instance, if I finish off this gold production quest, I would get to mark 3 spaces on my track that would give me a bonus for the next game that we would play. So you kind of build your empire that way. The other 2 quests that we have our military and diplomacy one right here. I believe this one says have 6 deals. So the first person to be able to do this could potentially claim that quest and get an immediate bonus and cross off 3 spaces on their military track. And then lastly, we have our third quest over here, which is reflective like Vitello. That says you have to have, I believe it's 5 features in our empire. So those are the 3 different quests that we're shooting for in this game. And on your turn, if you meet the objectives of that quest, you can immediately complete it and gain the benefit. But other than that, there are no There are no major changes in gameplay for the first game. As we progress and our empire grows, we will have to pay some upkeep costs for our empire up here on our empire sheet, and we will potentially gain starting bonuses, and we'll have more buildings, because at the end of the game, we're going to get an invention that we can buy, hopefully, if I can score enough points. So we'll see if that's always a risky proposition. And then we will also have a province card that we will gain as well, and they look like this. So they are basically start cards from like what you would see in Empires of the North. So they will say, you gain this starting ability. It starts off in your empire, and it gives you a thing. And there's a lot of different province cards. And then the inventions are similar. They will start off in your empire and give you some type of a bonus, but we get to choose which inventions we want to buy. So that is the main difference in gameplay. Other than that, we're going to go ahead and jump right in and start playing. I am playing the Barbarian faction.
And I'm playing the Romans.
Yeah. And my town name is Cookie Town.
Mm-hmm. And I'm Cookiesburg.
Yeah, and we have a bit of rivalry
Yep.
over which town is the best at being named about a cookie.
And has the best cookies.
That is true. I'm Team Oatmeal Raisin.
Oh, I am Team Snickerdoodle all the way.
Oh, then never mind. I'm Team Chocolate Chip, because I thought you were going to pick that because you're obviously a human that likes cookies. And any human that likes cookies knows that chocolate chip is the best form of cookie.
Oh, man. Give me a good Snickerdoodle any day.
You know what? I thought you were my brother. All right. So we are going to go ahead and start by drawing our starting cards. In this game, you will draw. In this game, you will draw 2 from your faction and then 2 from the common deck to start off, and then we will also have a lookout phase at the start of this game where we will get some more cards based off of who the first player is.
I drew 3 by mistake.
So we have randomly determined that David is going to be the first player in this game, so he will get first choice basically when drawing common cards.
All right, so I will draw 3 cards and choose one of them, and I'm keeping in mind the quests that we have while I'm picking my cards here, and none of these really seem to help me all that much, although there are some good cards here. So
you also get to draw another faction card at the start of the lookout phase, so that's something that you could do as well.
Well, this is very good.
So to talk a little bit about the strategy of what my faction kind of likes to do, the Barbarian faction gets tons of people. We like to have lots of people in our production phase, and then we can use people to do all kinds of crazy things. You can trade in people for resources and to draw cards and things like that. And then also we kind of have a raise, steal from our enemy engine. What I like to do is I like to create kind of like a self-raise engine, with my favorite card in the Barbarian deck called Dark Chapel, which I don't actually have. But that's a little bit of what I like to do. So David decided which card he wants to draw.
And the Romans are good at producing stone and getting stone buildings. So the Romans... they're really good at building up productions and have a lot of great features, and they have a really good gold production engine that you can get going to. That I like to try to get going with the Romans, but we'll see if we can get that going.
And don't forget, David, there is always the concede to Paul action. I know you refuse to take part in that action.
Yeah,
but
well, I didn't do it in Empires of the North, and it paid off barely.
It paid off by you winning, which the moral victory was lost.
You're right about that.
Because I felt bad. So, there's always
so there's that.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Also, we're going to try and keep an eye on chat and things of that nature. So if you are in chat, you can say hey to us, and we will try and watch the chat channel. Make sure if there are any questions that come up, absolutely ask away. I have very limited knowledge about things like release dates and stuff like that. But we would be happy to answer any gameplay questions you might have, assuming we can.
You can go to portalgamesus.com.
Luke says hey.
Hey, what's up, Luke?
Hello, Luke. All right, so... sorry, I cut you off. You can go to portalgamesus.com.
Yeah, and you can see the release date. You can pre-order the game right now. So that's the way to go. You get it early. and always a good idea.
Y'all should really pre-order this game. It's very good. Imperial Settlers is so good, everybody.
So good. If you don't have Imperial Settlers base game, go get that and pre-order this one, because you're going to want them both.
There's two phases of your life. There's before, I'm going to steal a Kumail Nanjiani joke. There's before Imperial Settlers and the Age of Enlightenment, after you play Imperial Settlers. Those are the two phases of one's life.
Yeah.
All right. So, David,
I get to go. We produce.
We've done our lookout phase. We then do our production phase here. So I'm going to produce all kinds of meeple peoples here.
Those barbarians produce all kinds of people, whereas I produce some stone and some wood from the beginning, so I have a little bit more freedom there.
Yeah, and you've let's see here. Your meeples are thicker than mine. Your people, worker meeples.
I have really fat meeples. I don't know why, but they're stout.
Whatever. They've been working out.
Yeah, they're stout.
They've just put on muscle. My barbarians are strong.
Strong man.
Yeah.
All right, so I want to get some production going from the beginning. But what kind of production do I want to do is the key. And that is, it's never a bad idea. So really the Romans are you until you get your production going, you're kind of limited a little bit, and I didn't get very many good raise options. Especially because one of the ones I would raise for resources, normally I really want to play because it gets me resources every single round as opposed to raising it on the first round. So,
the Imperial Settlers raise mechanic, it's a cruel mistress.
It is a cruel mistress. You have to get rid of really good cards to get the stuff you need.
Tough choices to constantly make.
But I will trade in my two lonely workers for wood.
Fantastic. I'm going to check and make sure everything is good in stream. Is everything good? Everybody let us know. You can hear us well. Things are looking...
Oh, hey, Wiggum PI is here.
Oh, Wiggum!
Welcome, Wiggum PI.
Hello,
Looks
Wiggum.
like in the new camera angles. Good job.
All right.
Good job, Paul. That's kudos to Paul.
This is a constant learning curve here. So I'm going to be playing the village. Actually, I'm not doing that, and I'm not forecasting my move because I totally have the resources that I need to do that. So instead, I'm going to trade 2 workers to get a wood that I don't need or want to use.
Yeah, exactly. You don't need that at all.
Nope.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and produce. I'm going to play my 2 wood here to play a production card. These are the Lumberjack's Root, which will produce a wood every round and gives me a building bonus of 1 wood. So that goes ahead and gets me 2 wood right there.
Which is fantastic.
It is fantastic.
Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and build the village. So the village says that you can get 1 worker and a building bonus of 1 more worker because I figured that I don't have enough people in my empire.
Yeah, I'm going to show off my cards.
Yeah, just show them off, basically. They're pretty sweet.
Oh, cycle the quest cards through the close-up cam.
Yeah, good call. So if you missed out at the first, here are the quest cards. So, sorry, let me go back to my OBS view here. So this is the first one. This is Lawful like Hammurabi. This one basically just says that you need to have any combination of 3 pink, black, or gold production buildings in your empire. If you have that, you can claim that quest on your turn. There are some quests that have actions associated with them. So, for instance, this is one of the quests that we're playing with, by the way. So I'll show the rest. There are some quests like this one right here. This is Indomitable, like Alexander the Great, that are associated with an action, right? So this one says raise one thing. Every time you do a quest that's associated with an action, you'll move a quest marker up on this track. There are also other inventions and cards that will move these quest markers. And basically what these quest markers do is they reduce the cost of completing a quest, right? So if you've moved your gold marker up 1 space, you would only need 2 things to complete this quest instead of 3. That's what the quest markers do. We don't have any cards that will move our quest markers in this first game. Once again, really the meat of this expansion is switching between games, gaining all of your inventions, your provinces, things like that, and then the bonuses that you'll unlock during the game by completing quests. So our other quest is Rebellious Like Alaric the Visigoth, which basically says have 6 deals. So the first person that does that could move up 3 spaces on their military track. And this one will also give them a bonus. The first person to achieve this gets to draw 3 common cards, raise 1 for free, and discard the others. So they do give you an immediate bonus, but the main thing they let you do is advance more on the tracks. And then the last one, this is Reflected Like Vitello. And this one says have 5 features in your empire. And if you do that, you get to cross off 3 spaces on your bottom track here. And then you also get to draw 3 faction cards, keep 1, and reshuffle the others, which is a new mechanic from the Amazon's expansion. And once you do that, whoever is the first to do a quest then flips the card over. So other players can then go and do that quest. But you can only move up 1 space on your progress track if you're the second person to do the quest, or the third or fourth or whoever. So that is a quick overview of quests. Is it my turn?
No, well, I believe you just played your thing. I was waiting for you to explain stuff.
I did. I'm so sorry. I just went on an explaining spree.
No, that's okay. You should be explaining. I'm going to move this first player token over here because I'm going to need this space before too long.
Yeah. And David makes a good point. We may have to move components as we expand because this game does take up a bit of space if you're really good at it, which means we probably won't need that much space. But you can expand quite a bit if you are really, going at this game. We're also playing 4 rounds instead of 5, so we're not going to quite get the same type of engine you would get in a full Imperial Settlers game.
Correct. This is produce 1 food for each red in your empire, max 3. Right now I have 1 red in my empire, so I will produce 1. And that gives me 1 food.
Okay, fantastic. So.
Man, I can show this card here.
Oh, I didn't gain my... where's the asterisk stamp?
Asterisk stamp.
I didn't gain my workers from producing my building. I should have 5 because I spent 2 to get the thing to build them, and then I get 2 back when I build that.
Yeah, likely story.
Look, at least it was cheating at my expense. I'm terrible at cheating. I constantly do things that hurt my engine. All right, so that being said, I am now going to trade 2 more of my workers to get 1 wood. And that is my action.
I need to make a deal.
All right, what do you got for me? Let's haggle.
All right. See, so making a deal obviously is spending food to take one of your faction cards and place it underneath your faction mat and turn it into a production. But I don't know what to produce because, it's so hard. Because I have such good cards and I want to keep them all. This is what Imperial Settlers is all about, making tough choices. It's all about the tough choices. I'm going to make a deal with this food here, and I'm going to make a deal for stone.
Ooh, the deals!
The deals.
Man, I wish I could get the deals. Those are great.
Did I get this right away or no?
You do. You do get that right away. Which deals are amazing. So deals are really great early game too because they help certain factions that, say you don't draw what you need with your common cards, you can use your faction cards to make deals that can give you very good things. The deals typically give you awesome stuff like cards or gold or stuff like that. Swords, which can be tough to draw.
It's a hard choice, though, because the card I made a deal with is actually a production card that produces...
Is it the devil card? Did you make a deal with the devil card?
I made a deal with the devil card.
Second, let me get the close-up cam here. There we go.
It's a production card that produces 2 stones. So it's a tough choice to make, but I need the stone now. So, I need it now. I'm not going to be able to use it this turn, but I need it next turn. So I need to start making stone now. So making this deal is most beneficial right now.
All right. I am going to spend 1 wood to build a village. Same type of thing. I've got one strategy on my mind. I am building lots of people, so I have a village right here. The reason that I like to build people with the barbarians, build cards that give you people, is because each round you can store one type of good from round to round, and the good that I can store is people. So I have the ability to keep people from round to round, whereas normally you have to get rid of everything else. So if I have something that gives me a ton of gold, that's fantastic, but if I can't use it, I lose it. Which this is kind of a different thing based on Empires of the North, right? You lose your stuff if you don't use it, so you want to do as much as you can each round.
And I can store raise tokens, so producing raise tokens is great for the Romans, but you have to get the cards to do it, and I don't have them. That's all there is to it. So I'm going to use my raise token to raise one of the cards from my hand. And I'm also, on my turn, I'm going to shield while I'm thinking about it. I'm going to shield my wood production here, just because I need my wood. Just in case Paul decides to get squirrely over there. But
we hate squirrels. They terrify us.
We hate them. We hate them, absolutely. I'm going to raise this card here that gets me 2 more cards here on the raise bonus. You can see there.
So good.
So I'm going to raise this card to get 2 cards that hopefully will get me cards that I need more.
Yeah. I'm still working towards the quest that I like the best, and I'm working towards trying to build kind of my self-mill engine that I like to get going with the barbarians. At least the base game deck, that's kind of what I like to do with them. So I will, on my turn, very simply just build a ruins. So the ruins is a feature. It's free to build. When you build it, you get a worker, and then it just sits out there as a free foundation to chunk for faction cards, because some faction cards require that you pay a building in addition to their costs.
All Roman faction cards, I think, require a building, I believe.
Yeah, it's tough. That's the other thing that's tough, is deciding which building you want to chunk.
Yeah.
And especially if you have to chunk a faction building, that is super painful.
It is.
You lose 2
painful.
points if you do that,
Yes.
which is not an insignificant amount of points in this game.
I think I am stuck with passing on my turn. I don't think there's anything else I can do.
Okay, so David is passed, which means that I can no longer target him. If I would have wanted to do that, I can't do that anymore. So, but what I will
Doesn't make me nervous at all.
what I will do, I'm just trying to explain the rules so that people know. What I will do, however, is I will trade 4 of my workers for 2 wood. So the action at the bottom of your player tableau, this action right here, can be done as many times as you want to do it. So there are some actions that say they can be done twice on a card. You can do both of those at once if you want to. Same thing with this action at the bottom to trade in workers. I could trade in 8 workers at once if I wanted to gain different goods. Draw cards, gain wood or apples, things like that. So I've discarded 4 of my workers to get 2 wood. And then I'm just going to keep going until I can pass. So I'm immediately going to spend my 2 wood and get rid of my ruins to build the sentry tower. So this is what the sentry tower looks like. This is one of my faction production buildings that gives me a person and a sword, which is fantastic. The other thing that this allows me to do, so I'm going to go ahead and get my sword and my person. The other thing that this means is that I have 3 pink, golden, or black production buildings in my empire in any combination. So I was actually able to complete was this Hammurabi? Yeah, the Hammurabi quest, right? So what I get to do because of that is...
Hammurabi, whichever.
Hammurabi, yeah. I'm terrible at pronouncing names, even though history really interests me. So what I get to do is I get to cross off 3 spaces on my progress track for the gold quests, and I also gain an immediate benefit of gaining 1 gold. So you can see I get to progress 3 spaces on the progress track, and then I get 1 gold as an immediate benefit. So I will gain my gold.
Close-up cam is a bit blurry. It is a bit blurry.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a way we can focus that or not.
Yeah, maybe not. I apologize. So I will turn it off for now, and then we'll use it sparingly and try and get a better setup for next time for sure.
Yep, I have a better camera that I forgot to bring with me, so that one's on me,
It's
you
all
guys.
good. It's all good. I'm just happy that we didn't have the same technical issues that we had last time. So I get to cross off 3 spaces on the gold quest track, and we're using pencils because sure as shooting, we're going to mess something up, and we need to erase that. So this is kind of cool. It does 2 things for me. I've gotten to a spot on my progress track that gives me a starting bonus for the next game, which will be great because I can get a gold at the start of the next game. Green boxes on these progress tracks are starting bonuses. Red boxes are end of game bonuses. So I have unlocked one of those bonuses. If David goes on one of these other tracks, he's going to unlock a bonus for his next game as well. So I've gained my gold. I have moved on my progress track. I'm now going to flip this card over because David can still come and do this quest. He can still gain a reward from this quest. He's just going to gain 1 on the progress track instead of 3. But he still can gain progress from that. So that being said, I still have actions. Goodness gracious, what do I want to do? So I think I want to go ahead and a worker and a sword to gain 3 points. Holy cow. That's really good, but I can't build that just yet. So since I do generate quite a few people, I'm going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to spend 2 people to get a wood. I'm going to then spend my wood and my gold.
So William P.I. wants to know how many games in the campaign, and I think we've heard it's around 20 or so games.
I believe it's 18 to 20.
18 to 20 games, yeah.
I believe it is
quite
18
a bit
to
of
20.
gameplay.
So that lets me put an action down here. And then, let's see here. So I hate to do this because I'm going to lose these cards, but I'm going to spend both of these... Actually, I'm going to spend one of these swords to raise this card from my hand that gives me a worker and a point. So I'll get 1 point and get 1 worker. And then I'm going to keep this card because I really do want to build it. I think it would be good if I could build this one. And then I'm going to activate this chapel action down here twice. It can be activated twice to gain a point. So I'll gain 2 more points, and then that's my whole round. And unfortunately, during the cleanup phase, I'm going to lose this sword. But what are you going to do?
And I lose my stone. Oh, you're going to beat me so bad. This is terrible.
I don't know, man.
We'll see.
I don't know. The Romans get going with their faction buildings in a really cool way.
The faction buildings are where it's at with the Romans, but I got to get them out there.
They also can't be attacked, which is fantastic.
That is true.
So we are now going to go into the cleanup phase where we will lose all of our stuff. Unless you can store, so like David can store swords on his faction mat, and I can store people. You will also get rid of any things that you have put on cards to take action. So I'm going to lose my people on that action card as well. And then you're supposed to lose your defense shield token as well, but you get a new one every round. So I just usually put that back on my faction mat.
Cheater.
So that being said, we are now going to move into round 2. So we're in round 2, and we go through the lookout phase. One more time.
First player.
I'm now the first player. Go ahead and put that on the deals section.
Yeah.
I don't seem to get any of those. So I'm going to draw one of my faction cards, and then I will go ahead and do this thing where we draw 3 and pick 1. So I'm going to draw these 3 cards. Out of these 3 cards, let's see what I've got here. I've got a feature that gives me a building bonus, 1 point for every gray in my empire. Additionally, draw 1 card, which that would be fantastic for David.
A lot of gray buildings.
There is and I don't see a max on that. I think in the errata it was maxed out at like 6 or 7, but I don't know that for sure, so we're not going to play that way until that would be confirmed. The quarry gives me a production of 1 stone and then a building bonus of 1 stone, which is tough for me to get stone. But I think I'm going to pick this one. This one is the Canteen. It says each time you build a pink, gain a gold and a point. And since my faction has quite a few buildings that produce people, pink is the color that's associated with the person, the worker good. So I'm going to keep that card.
And I think I definitely need to keep this feature that gets me points for each gray building in my empire because it's a building bonus. I have to get the gray buildings out there first, and it's an expensive-ish one. Stone production might be more valuable right now. Yes, Wiggum PI, it is amazing that they were able to cram 20 games into this box. Go out and buy it right now.
It's ridiculous! Don't get it! Get it now! Sorry, I have tiny hands from another game that crack me up for some reason. We have them close by.
Do I want more stone production? I think I want more stone production. I'm Romans. I use stone for everything. I want more stone production.
All right, so these go away. You now get to choose from these 3 cards which one you would like to keep first. And then I get this terrible, awful leftover choice.
So we spend, this one is an action. Let's we spend a person and a stone to gain 2 points. Spend a person and a food to gain 2 points. Or more stone production. Ooh, see, I'm really tempted because it's the exact same card, and I could put it out there, and I could build it.
You could have some kind of crazy stone monopoly.
And I tell you what,
there probably exists a version called Stoneopoly.
Stoneopoly. Most likely, it probably exists. USAopoly has made it.
3,000 IPs.
Yeah. I'm taking another one.
All right. I have the choice of spend a person and a stone to gain 2 points, or spend a person and a food to gain 2 points. So I have the exact same choice, but with 2 different resources. I don't really have a way to get either one of these resources. So these may be raise fodder. And I will, I think out of the 2 choices, I will probably pick the stone and the wood. So I'm going to get rid of this one.
PS is Monopoly in the Age of Fire, which, yes, probably exists. Almost exactly. Yeah. Almost certainly. I didn't draw my faction card yet, so I'm going to draw that.
Do it.
All right, that's a good card. Oof.
Oh, man. I got a good card, too. All right, so now we're in our production phase. I'm gonna change things up. I'm going to draw produce people. Okay, so I'm going to take a bit of a different strategy for my faction.
I will produce 2 stone this time because of my deal that I made.
And then, let's see, I get 2 swords in total, 5 workers, and 3 more workers. That's it.
And that's all.
I'm producing a rabble.
Of workers.
With swords. What a great combination. Woohoo!
Yeah, that's not good for me.
We're set to go cause some trouble.
They're rabble rousers.
Yeah. All right, so I get to go first this round. Okay, let's see what I want to do. Okay, so I could use some wood. I don't have any wood, but I could go ahead and start using my raise fodder that I was talking about to get some of that wood. So I will do that. I'm gonna my first action. I'm gonna raise one of my buildings.
Oh, I didn't produce my food. Sorry.
Ooh, produce your food.
Yeah, I need to do that. I need to make some deals.
So I'm gonna raise this building to gain a wood and a stone.
All right, I am going to go ahead.
Sealing in my victory.
Sealing in.
Was that move?
Oh, I didn't produce my wood either. I'm not producing any of my production buildings. Look at this.
Dude, you got to do that.
I got to do that. You're right. I was just thinking about how I didn't produce something because I'm about to destroy
it. Squeeze every bit of production
out of it that I can. I will destroy this as a foundation. It will become the foundation for my trade colony. This is super awesome. This is a great card.
Such a good building.
It counts as a red, a brown, and a gray card. So, but it is expensive. So it costs 2 stone, a wood, and a foundation. But I got it out there. It's great. It also produces a person and a gold for me. Right.
Make up your mind, trade colony. What are you?
It's everything.
You have tents all over the place. A random monument. What are you even?
It's everything. It's one of my favorite Roman cards. I like it especially because it counts as so many types of cards.
All right, so I'm going to build...
Baltic is just a rock in Monopoly Age of Fire.
That's very true. Oh, man. You've landed on my mammoths. Please pay me bones, or whatever the currency is.
Teeth.
All right, so I'm trading 4 workers for 2 wood. And I'm happy to get them.
All right. I bet you are. You would be. I'm going to make a deal. What kind of a deal am I going to make to produce? I want to produce people. So I'm going to make a deal with my food to produce people.
I can send you some people that know how to do that. I can send you some experts on people producing.
Your guys are experts on producing people. So get me my worker. All right,
fantastic. I'm going to spend 3 wood to go ahead and build the canteen. So, just amazingly, these barbarians have somehow figured out roofing, wheels, all this stuff, and just suddenly built a canteen because they discovered industry. And because of that, I'm going to get 1 gold and a point. Each time you build a pink, gain a gold and a point. So if you wouldn't mind,
point. Sorry, I guess I give you your point.
I forgot.
Yeah, my bad. I totally forgot to give you any points this whole game. All right, so I want to get this built, and the reason behind, you see, I had a plan the whole time, drawing 2 quarries, is that I knew I was just going to raise one of them to gain 2 stones immediately.
Nice.
So I will gain 2 stones here and get that built. And I should have done this. I did this in the wrong order. I should have done this in a different order, but that's okay.
You can do that in a different order if you want to. No big deal.
It would be taking back like 3 moves. So
Okay.
not going to do it.
Let me do this. I will go ahead and trade in 2 of my people for an apple, and that is my turn.
All right, so I will use my 2 stone that I just gained, and I will destroy my food production here, which I really, really need, which makes me sad. Actually,
Why would you do that?
let's not do it yet, because maybe I can get something else out there. I need that food production to make deals because I'm going for the quest to get the deals, which I'm just telling Paul that because he doesn't have any deals. I have 2. I'm already 2 up on him. So, but I got to get a lot of faction cards if I'm going to make some deals.
I learned the hard way the last time I played the Barbarians that the Romans have cards that allow you to steal deals.
That's true. You can steal people's deals, which is awesome, and I'm just really hoping that I get that out there before Paul starts making some deals.
Yeah, which is the equivalent of you just walking up in line and paying for something as someone's trying to buy it. It's great.
That's right. It is great. And in this game, you can use gold as food, correct?
Yes.
Okay, just not as workers.
Yeah.
Or
Food,
raise.
wood, or stone.
And that's important because I can use my gold and my wood to produce a gold creek to produce more gold. So I'll just pay my wood and get my gold back.
It's an interesting strategy. We'll see how that works out for you.
See how it works out.
Getting gold.
Yeah.
I'm going to pay a gold and an apple. I'm using my apple, my gold as an apple as well to build the missionaries. So these give me an action, but also they're a pink building, so I'm going to gain a point and then 1 gold from building another pink building. Sorry for the reach.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
I'm thinking about my strategy. All right, so
let's see here. Sorry, I was checking on the chat, making sure we're still good.
all right, so my strategy here with the Romans is they have a feature that lets me get a point or a gold every time I build gray. And does that count for itself or no?
Oh, yes, it does.
I thought it does.
Yes, it does.
So I'm going to go ahead and gain a gold because early game I need the resources more than I need the points. I should start generating points, but right now I need the gold pretty badly.
That is a worrying development. Okay, so I have this action. I'm going to spend a worker and a sword to gain 3 points. 3.
God, he's just blazing ahead of me in points.
Look, we don't have much late game strength, okay? We just become a bigger crowd.
We Romans have a lot of late game strength, but that is a heck of a lead.
And we get loud.
Catch up.
We get loud. We just get louder. That's the only thing we accomplish. We create bigger crowds.
So I'm going to use my 2 gold here to build my quarry, which will get me a point or a gold. I think I'm going to take... let's see here. Yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and take gold. I should be getting points. Man, I feel like I'm falling behind, but I need to get my engine built up.
Yeah, it's the first couple of rounds are that way. It's getting your production built up in a way that allows you to do stuff later. So I'm going to spend this gold as a wood, and then I'm going to get rid of the Canteen. Even though this is a fantastic card, I really like it a lot, but I want to get.
I didn't pay my foundation.
Oh my goodness! All right, so I'm gonna build this. So I've built the barter action, the barter card that allows me to spend 2 resources in any combination. They can only be wood, food, or stone to gain 2 points, maybe activated twice. But I do have to spend 2 resources, which I don't currently have, which is a bit of a bummer.
All right.
But oh well.
So I am going to build a village. And you know what they say, it takes a village to
Build a
village.
That's what they always say.
That's what they always say. That's that old saying.
Let's do Fool me twice, once a village. That's what they always say.
That's what they always say. And now I get 2 workers. So I'm having a much better round 2 than I had round 1.
Yeah, the Romans ramp up in a big way.
Yeah.
Okay, so the last thing that I can really do is I'm going to spend a worker to gain 1 point. I could be activated twice, but I don't have another worker, so I'm just going to go ahead and do that, and that'll be, well, now it's David's turn.
All right, so I'm going to trade in 4 of my workers for 2 stone. There we go.
All right, I'm passing.
All right, and I'm going to pay my...
And
I'm sorry. I meant not 2 stone, a stone and a wood. Sorry. I was looking at the wrong spot on this card.
I won't stand for it! Order!
You'll stand for it or else. You'll sit for it.
It's going to be very hard to play with these tiny hands.
I'll produce... I'm going to build... I'm getting off my...
For the love!
Off my area here. So I'll kind of... I'll consolidate these a little bit. Consolidate these a little bit, and I'm going to pay stone and a wood to produce 2 stone. I get a production bonus of 1 stone and a production of 1 stone. So I got my 2 stone there, and then I was looking at my card wrong, but that's okay. Paul's already passed.
I've passed. I'm going to see if there are any questions in chat while David is finishing up here.
I'm deciding if there's anything else I can do.
Nothing yet.
I don't think there's anything else I can do except for I can trade in these workers for a card, and I might as well do it because since I can't do anything else, I would lose these workers. So I'll go ahead and trade in the workers because otherwise I'm going to lose them. So we'll go ahead and trade those guys in, and we'll get a faction card so that I can make some more deals. Oh, and that's a good deal too.
Dang it! Who shuffled a good deal into your deck?
Ooh, it's also a really good card.
I thought I rigged that deck before we even started.
Oh, you didn't rig it well enough. This is a good card.
Cheating has failed me.
And I'm gonna lose out on 2 of my stone here, but that's okay. I'm passing.
All right. So that is the end of round 2. We're going to go ahead and go into the cleanup phase. It's cleanup phase before the end of round 2. So I'm going to lose my stone, unfortunately. Get rid of these workers, get rid of this sword, and then first player passes to David.
And I got, I shouldn't have passed. So I'll just take the point for building my gray building. Should have taken gold and built something else, but that's okay.
You can.
I don't want to take it back. And it's no.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just more fair if I take the point.
All right. You got the point for the gold, for the gray building, so that's good.
I have to remember this feature. I have to remember.
David also has another card in his faction deck that says gain a point and a gold every time you build a Roman building.
Right.
So then you also get gold. You get 2 points and 2 gold every time you build a Roman building or a Roman gray building. That's a really cool engine that the Romans can get going. So let's see. We've cleaned up. Now we're in round 3, and then David's the first player. We're going to go ahead and go to the lookout phase. So we'll draw 1 faction card. Oh, yes. This is the one that I wanted in the first round.
I don't like that. I don't want Paul having that card.
No, I mean, it's not a target you card or get lots of points card, but it would have been helpful to build a good production engine, for sure.
Yeah. All right, and I draw 3, and I get to keep 1. So what we have here on our 3, we have a feature which lets you, it's a building bonus, 1 star for each pink in your empire, and I don't want Paul to have this card. Like, that might actually just be enough for me to take it.
That is a good card for the barbarians.
It is. And this is spend stone to gain a point, which could be really strong for me because I have a lot of stone production right now. But I don't know if I just want to keep this card from Paul. It's very expensive to build. And then we also have ruins, which is just a feature that I love. I love having the ruins because then you don't have to make a decision on which card to get rid of.
Ruins is fantastic. I think it's such an underrated card.
It is great.
Because it's like you're gaining the resource of the worker, and then you're also gaining the resource of not losing a card. So it's like a double gain.
Right. It is like a double gain, and I'm tempted to take it, but I think I'm going to take the thing that lets me build spin stone to gain points, and let Paul have the stupid pink card that lets him get all the...
It fell for my ruse! No, actually, this is a very expensive card. I have to take this card. It's too good to not take, so I will take that card because it is perfect for my strategy. Well, I haven't tried to build pink cards in particular in this game. I actually like to do kind of like a bit of a self-raising strategy, like I said, but that I haven't drawn the cards that I need to do that most effectively. So now I will get to draw 3 and keep one of these 3. So let's see what I've got. Let's see. We've got these 3 cards. So I have the card that says I can discard a card from my hand to gain 2 points. That's great. That's a really good card. New Forest, spend 1 person to gain 1 wood, may be activated twice, and then spend 1 wood to gain a point, may be activated twice. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this card that allows me to discard a card from hand to gain 2 points, but I think I'm going to use this as raise fodder, because I can raise for 2 cards.
All right, so that leaves me with the choice of spending 1 wood to gain 1 point, or spending 1 person to gain 1 wood, maybe activated twice. And honestly, both of these are probably going to be raise fodder for me as well. So I'm going to keep the one that gives me the best bonus for raising it from my hand, just in case I decide to go that route, which is the one that gives me 2 wood for raising it from my hand, because that's a more valuable bonus for me right now.
All right, so we have done the lookout phase. We're going to go ahead and move into the production phase. So I'm going to gain 8 workers and a sword. That's my total production. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, as well as a defense token that I also just have on my faction board here because I didn't use it last round. One thing that you'll notice watching David and I play is that a couple of Care Bears we are. So this shield is essentially a plate or a paperweight or whatever it is in my faction. I think our 2 clans hang out with each other on the weekends. So
they just have a good
trips
time
together.
Yep.
We share cabs.
Yep, we split the dinner bill.
Yeah, we rent the same Airbnb. There's a lot of different things that we can go with this metaphor, so I'm going to go ahead and stop now. You get the idea.
You get the idea.
We're friends.
We're very friendly. We don't like to attack each other. We just like to play our own little faction and do our own little thing. But this game can be very interactive if you choose to get a raise engine going and start attacking your enemies.
This game can have some take that, which actually in the back of the rulebook there's a peaceful variant, which I'm like, well, we'll never need that because we're peaceful people.
Although I might build a card that might change that. We'll see.
Well, if you do, I'll never forgive you until the end of this game.
Oh, well, then I won't do it.
I can't have you not forgiving me for 30 minutes.
That would be unacceptable.
And so we've produced, and David is actually first this round, so he'll get to take the first turn. We are in round 3.
We are in round 3, and I'm going to go ahead and make a deal to produce swords.
Good grief. He wasn't lying.
It's a good deal.
He's gonna stay true to that threat. All right, I am going to, let's see here. I'm going to trade 2 people for a wood. And thematically, I like to think that that's sending these 2 people out to get a wood. I'm not like literally turning them into wood somehow in some evil magical way. Like
trading them to a traveling salesman?
I'm some type of terrible alchemist that didn't figure out gold but got close. Well, I can't make gold, but I did figure out how to make apples. It's not nearly as good. I know. I'm sorry.
All right, I'm going to pay one of my mini stone, a wood former. Yes, that's exactly. Paul has become a wood former.
I sure did.
I'm going to pay a stone to build an action down here, but since it's a gray card, I get either a gold or a point. Let me look at my resources, and since I want to build this building, I think I have the resources that I need right now. So I think I am going to get a point.
Wow. Okay, if that's what you want to focus on. All right.
Wasted move.
Yeah, okay. I'm over here getting wood, so whatever. You do what you want to do. All right, so I'm spending 1 wood to build the primeval forest, which will give me 2 wood as a production building.
All right, and I will spend 1 wood to build the new forest, which will... Yes.
You immediately upgraded my version of the forest.
To a better forest! It should have just been called Better Forest.
I can do anything you can do better.
Anything you can do, I can do better.
But I'm ashamed, and now I'm going to go home. Problem is, I'm already home.
He's already at his house?
I'm just going to slink into my chamber.
I'm just going to slink down further. This gives me an action to spend a person to gain wood. It may be activated twice, but I'm going to use it for Ray's fodder because I'll need a foundation to build my Roman building. My powerful Roman building.
That worries me late game. All right, I'm going to spend a worker and a sword to get 3 points.
Ugh. 2, 3. You know what worries me is Paul getting 12 points while I have 2.
And I'm also going to put my shield on that, so it'll be a paperweight on that building. Because David's making deals over there to get swords.
Yeah, it's true. I am making deals to get swords. And I can store them, so I can just store them up. I have a big sword storehouse. All right, I'm spending 2 stone, 1 gold, and I am going to build... using this as a foundation, another trade colony.
Oh my gosh.
Which gets me another point.
Such a good card.
And it gets me another gold and a person.
Round 3 is a bad round for Paul and a good round for David.
Well, I don't know. Those points are really racking up.
He's got so many good things.
Points are racking up.
All right, so I'm going to trade 2 workers, and these workers are going to be rock formers. I farm everything. Got a good crop of rocks today, honey. It'll feed us through winter.
All right, I need to build this card, so I'm going to trade in my workers to get a wood so that I can build this card that I want to build.
You would?
Oh, I would and I will.
All right. I'm going to spend 2 wood and a stone to build this little this meeting place feature building bonus. 1 point for each pink card in my empire. Additionally, draw a card. So I currently have 4 pink cards, so I'm going to gain 4 points up to 16. And then I get to draw 1 card. So I think I want to draw a faction card. I will draw a faction card for that.
All right.
Militaire.
And I was dumb. Yes. I should have traded in.
I mean, never mind.
I don't like the sound of that.
I only got it a few rounds late.
I needed another wood. I should have traded in 4 workers for 2 wood, but I didn't do it because I changed my mind halfway through. So now I have 2 wood. Now it's your turn.
Okay. I'm simply going to spend 2 people to get 2 points, maybe activated twice. So I'm going to do that all at once. And then that's my turn.
All right. So I'm going to spend 2 wood to build the Watchtower. Watchtower is a great card. Gets you 2 cards right when you build it. It produces a card every round. I'm going to take 2 faction cards. And yep, that's my turn.
Okay. I think I am going to pass.
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and pass. Storing 1 lonely worker.
1 lonely worker.
Guys, where'd everybody go?
Guys, hey guys. I'm going to trade these workers in for a food. And I'm going to use my food and my gold to make 2 more deals. Both for stone.
Food formers. That's the weirdest kind we've played so far.
That is the weirdest kind.
Farm food when there's tons of wood and rocks out there.
Also, turning people into food is pretty dark.
You got the Soylent Green.
This is like a Robinson Crusoe thing here.
There is some crossover there.
Yeah, Wikipedia said rather turn them into wood than food. You're right about that. You're not wrong.
You make a compelling argument.
I get 2 stone, and I can spend a stone to get a point, maybe activated twice, so I'll go ahead and do that twice and get 2 points. So my point engine got started a little bit late, but I think we're getting there slowly but surely. Slowly but surely.
Yep. All right. So
I am going to spin this stone to pass.
It's the most efficient use of a stone I've seen in years. Dang it, David has a lot of swords for next round, which worries me greatly.
Oh, I do.
So, here's what's going to happen now. We will clean up. So we're going to get rid of all of these things. I will become the first player. This stays. This is going to go back here. And then we're in round 4, which in this version of the game, in the Rise of the Empire expansion, is the last round. So we don't get our 5th round to really, really expand our engine. And we'll go ahead and do the lookout phase. So I'm going to draw a faction card, and then I will pick one of these 3 that I just drew here. All right, let's see the options here. So we have a goldsmith's workshop that allows me to spend a worker and a gold to gain 2 points. I don't really have a ton of gold, so I don't know that I want to do that. We have the town, which would allow me to just get 2 people. It's a 2-people production building. Or we have the old forest, which is 2 wood to produce 2 wood. So out of those 3 things, I honestly think what would I want to raise? So I will keep this one, and you can pick from these 2.
All right. 2 workers is nice, but 2 wood is nicer, probably. Nicer. Although, it's much more affordable for me to build the 2 workers. But I've got stone production out the wazoo now. So this is much more affordable for me to build. And having 2 workers is never a bad idea. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and keep this because, don't tell Paul this, but I need the food to make deals.
La 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 la.
So we're going to go ahead and keep that one so that I can use the food to make. I can use the people to become food.
All right, so now you get to draw 3. Pick first.
And pick first. All right, so I've got one that lets me spend a gold, a wood, a stone, and a food to gain 3 points, which is a great card. But I don't have a food production building engine right now, so it's really hard for me. Another ruins, which is a great card, and this is spend 1 person and 2 food to gain 3 points, which is once again great card. I just don't have the food to do it. And I don't want to give Paul a 3-point card, but I'm going to give him a 3-point card because I have to. But the question is, will I even be able to use this? I think I'm going to take the ruins on this one.
Ruins are not bad.
I mean, I don't think I'm going to get a chance to use either one of these cards. So
I would not scoff at a ruins this round, actually. Spend a wood, a stone, and food to gain 3 points. That's okay. That's not bad. Or spend 1 person and 2 food to gain 3 points. So these are both 3-point cards. I guess I will keep the marketplace, and then I'll get rid of this card. So I'm the starting player in this last round.
We do production.
We do produce. So I get 2 wood, 2 stone.
I'm just producing so much. I have to go
swords,
card by card.
And then 8 total people. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I think that's all my production.
1, 2, 3 stone, a sword, and a person. 3 stone.
Oh man.
A sword and a person.
It's gonna be tough. Tough to make these choices.
Then I do a stone, a wood, a sword. And then I do a gold, a stone, a person, a stone, and a card. Person, stone, and a card.
All right. So first action, I'm going to spend. Let's see here.
Yeah, 1 round less than the base game of Imperial Settlers. Normally we play 5 rounds, but this one is 1 less.
All right, I'm gonna spend a raise token to go ahead and raise this goldsmith's workshop to get a gold and a point.
It's good.
Basically, it's pretty much the best thing I want to do right now.
And I'm going to go ahead and build my ruins because I really need the foundation. So I'm going to go ahead and
We've worked for years. We finally built a decrepit old ruin.
An old ruin. We built a house and burnt it down.
That'll show them. All right. I am going to trade 2 people. I'm going to send them out as rock farmers and get a rock. That is my turn.
All right, so I'm going to make a deal to produce, with my gold, to produce food. Actually, do I want... Yeah, yes, I definitely want to produce food. I don't want to produce any more stone. And that gets me up to 6 deals.
Woohoo!
So that means I have completed a quest.
David's done the thing. He has 6 deals, which, let me... I know it's a bit blurry, but I'll switch back over to the close-up cam so you can see this quest. So this is rebellious like
Monty Hall over there doing PIs, making deals.
Yeah, to have 6 deals in his empire, and because he did that, he is able to advance 3 spaces on his military and diplomacy track, crossing out 3 boxes there. And in addition to that, he gets to draw 3 common cards, raise 1 for free, and then discard the others.
Which icon is that? It's the diplomacy guy.
Yeah, top track. Which also means that David is going to get a starting ability next round that allows him to, I believe, start with an extra card in his hand. So David, as you kind of progress on these tracks, you will get bonuses the farther you've progressed. If you get to the end of one of these tracks, you actually advance to the next era. And there are 3 different eras. There's the Antique Era, there is the Middle Ages, and then there's the Industrial Era. So if you get to the end of either one of these 3 tracks, you advance to the next era and then start using this sheet. So these sheets have different costs in the little provinces. They have different bonuses that you can gain, all kinds of cool stuff. So they're that's kind of how you progress over lots of games, actually.
So my bonus for completing that quest first was to draw 3 common cards, raise 1 for free, and discard the rest. So I'm going to raise the one that gets me a gold and a point. Which, why not?
I mean, once again, it's like a weird move, but I guess points and gold are good. Some people.
Yeah, some people like them.
All right, so I am going to go ahead and spend 1 gold as a stone, 1 stone as a stone, and then 1 wood. And then I'm going to discard, I'm going to discard this card that allows me to, gives me a building bonus as my foundation. And then I'm going to build the Dark Chapel. So the Dark Chapel is the card that I like the best. It basically says you can spend 1 sword or 2 swords put on this card to raise a card either from your hand or from your opponent's empire. And any resources that you would gain from that raise action, you can discard each one to get 2 points each. So for instance, if I go here and I discard a card from my hand and raise it, I could get rid of both the things that it gives me for 4 points. So that's a really strong card that I like quite a bit.
And before Paul uses his card to get 3 points down there, I'm going to go ahead and raise it with my 2 raise tokens.
That's totally fine. I get a wood and a foundation.
Because that card was really chapping my hide. And it's still chapping my hide because it's probably going to beat me.
Well, we'll see. Because we also have... So I'm going to activate the Dark Chapel immediately. So I'm going to spend a stone. I'm going to spend a sword to immediately raise a card from my hand. So in this case, I'm going to raise the marketplace. I would normally get a gold and a wood from that, but I think I'm going to discard both of those goods for 4 points. So you can discard either one of the goods that you're going to get for 2 points each. Unfortunately, that card can only be activated once per turn, once per round. But there's 2 cards in the deck, so if you can get them both out, this is why I like to have like this little self-raise engine where I can just pour swords into this card, and then there's some other cards that allow you to get a bonus every time you raise, something like that. So instead of attacking others, I like to just self-raise.
And I will spend my 2 stone here to get my 2 points. And I realized I was playing this game like we were going to play 5 rounds. I built my production up a little too much.
Yeah.
Didn't focus on points early enough. So
this is one of those tough engine building games where you have to make that call.
Yeah.
When you want to bail on production and pour into points. And I don't think I don't know. I'm gonna trade 2 people to get a stone.
All right, and I'm going to pay 2 stone to build another headquarters. So this is another one of the cards that lets me get a point every time I build a gray card. So I'm going to pay my ruins as a foundation. So this counts as one building that. So I get 2 points for that one because I have 2 of my headquarters. So that's 2 points.
All right. And I'm going to spend a stone, a wood, and my foundation here to build the expedition. So this one says if I wanted to, I could discard a sword to gain a gold and 2 points. I don't have a sword, which would have been fantastic, but such is life.
And I will spend a wood and a stone to build a town. And as they say, it takes a village to build a town. Wait, hold on.
They do say that.
That's what they say. That's how the old saying goes.
It takes a village to raise a town. That's
right.
The old saying. Mama said it.
From time immemorial.
All right. I am going to go ahead and let's see here. I'm going to trade. I'm going to send 2 people off to farm a card, and I will get a faction card and hope that it doesn't require that. Oh no. Oh well. It's all good. It's all good.
I'm going to spend 4 people to get 2 cards.
That's not a bad move.
It's not right now.
So I was hoping to get a faction card that I could build because they're worth 2 points at the end of the game. I have something that I can do in place of that that's not as good, but it'll be potentially close. So I'm going to trade 2 people. I'm going to send them off to farm a rock, and that is my turn.
So I'm going to go ahead and build my administration. I'm going to use a rock and a gold. And this is the card that I wish I could have built earlier. This is the card that gets me a point or a gold every time you build Roman. So
that's so good. That includes that card.
That includes that card. So that's 1 point there. But I mean, like I built 5 cards. That would have been a 5-point card had I got it out earlier, but I just now drew it. So.
Yeah. Okay, and then I'm going to spend a stone and a wood to build the Tavern. It gives me an action. I can discard a card from hand to gain 2 points. As a building bonus, I get to draw a card, so I'm going to draw a faction card and see if I can get lucky. Whoa, no. No, I did not get lucky.
All right, and I'm saving these 2 swords just so I can keep Paul from getting those 2 points, and I will raise it.
Oh, I should have done this shield! All right, there's that.
Should have done the shield. This is the most I've ever raised any of Paul's buildings in any game that we ever played.
Wow.
You're still beating me.
That keeps me from 2-3 points.
I know it.
Oh.
See, I learned from Luke. This is Luke's fault. So
Son of a gun!
Luke, what are you doing? What are you doing with your life? Don't teach my brother how to raise buildings.
That messes with my multiplayer solitaire that I enjoy so much. Oh well.
Yes.
All right.
Yes, I've learned the ways.
So that being said, the last thing I'll do is I will spend 1 person. I'll send into the chapel to worship this rock and gain 1 point. 1 measly point.
1 point.
All right.
You're still so far ahead of me. There's no way I'm catching up.
Well, you also have 7 points in common buildings that I don't have.
I do, but that's okay. It's Luke. Luke remembers that talk. He remembers the talk. He's like, all you had to do was spend that 1 raise token, and it would have stopped me from beating you by 15 points.
I like to imagine Luke pulling you over like a coach at the end of the game. Hey, listen, buddy.
Hey, listen.
You've got some great effort, but you got to start raising.
You got a lot of hustle.
You got to throw your swords around. Because if you don't, we're going to have to put you in right field. Is it because of my arm? No,
Yeah.
It's because you're really bad.
It's because you're bad. No,
you're bad at games.
He took me to school and he pointed at my little axe token that I had left, and we were playing Empires of the North, and I was like, "You're right. You're so right."
I love whenever my coaches used to tell me that. We're putting you in the outfield because you got a great arm.
You got a great arm.
Are you sure it's because I don't have ADD? No.
No.
That's
It's
fine.
the arm thing. All right. So
Look at me. Can't even finish the sentence.
I'm going to spend these 2 gold to build another Roman building, and since okay, this is where Romans start. I'm going to spin this as a foundation. This is where Romans start really building up here. So this is 2 points every time I build a red building. So that's 2 points right there. But I'm building a Roman building, so it's 3 points. So I get 3 points for that building. So 1, 2, 3. And just imagine if I'd had these buildings out from the beginning, this would have been really great. But I didn't. So.
I still think you got me with the common buildings.
I don't know. We'll see.
I think so. I pass. I can do nothing.
I can spend workers for a card.
You might get something.
I might get something.
Yeah, and you have foundations aplenty.
I do have foundations aplenty.
Because if you get lucky enough to draw a red card, you have a food to potentially build a red card.
Not so lucky. But I can make a deal, but that doesn't really help me out.
Get you a good.
It does get me a good, which is, do
you have any actions that can...
No, I don't have anything that I can turn goods into points with.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't think this does me any good. Boy, if that food were a stone, if only it were a stone, I could build this. And then it would be a gray building and a Roman building. This card would be worth 4 points if I could build it.
And the Romans...
Actually, 5 points.
The Romans' faction ability starts to get so crazy. This is only 4 rounds. So if David had a 5th round, he would be just zooming past me in points very quickly.
Well, possibly.
And I still think he's going to zoom past me in points in the last, just in card scoring.
I think I played this like a 5-round game. I think that's what the problem was. My strategy was I focused too much on production and not enough on my point building engine. So that is it. I have to pass, and I'll shield this from Paul.
I will yell from across the way. My shield, sucker. Okay, so that's the last round in this game. We still go through scoring. So in this game, we are going to score our cards in addition to the points on our track. So we get 1 point for every card on the right side of our faction board, not counting foundation. So I'm not going to get any for that, but David will get, looks like 6 points for that. And then we're going to get 2 points for every faction card that we have. So I have 7. David has 6. So I'm going to get 14. David will get 12.
12, yep. And so Paul stays ahead of me. So I'm going from 20 to 32. And Paul's getting how many points? 14 points. So you're going to 38.
Woo! Man.
Ooh.
So
yeah, I knew it wasn't going to be close, but
no, I mean it is close. And the thing about this is that I feel like I should be scoring more points based on the costs of these inventions. So we are now at the end of our first game of the Rise of the Empire campaign, which means that we get to do a couple of things.
Hey, Luke said since I raided your buildings, it just means I respect you as an opponent. So
whatever, Luke. Nice try. You've taught my brother violence. This will not be forgotten. I'll passively, aggressively remember this for years. Not really.
I've already let it go.
I've forgiven you 2 times since the last 10 minutes. So basically what happens now is we are going to, in order of score, so I'm going to get to look through the invention deck, and every point that we have now turns into a knowledge point, a little light bulb. Which looks like this over here. So these are knowledge points right here up in the top right, the little light bulbs right here. So since I got 38 points, I now have 38 knowledge points that I can spend on these different inventions. And what you do is you take the inventions from the era that you're in. So we're in the antique era. And they will have the card backs that look similar to the player sheet right there. And I get to choose one of these 3 cards that I want to buy. So I have 3 choices that I can afford because I only got 38 points. So I can either get astronomy, which this one says at the beginning of the action phase, you can look at the top 2 cards of your faction deck. So this basically gives you a little bit of you look at the stars and gain a little bit of knowledge about what's coming for your faction. And then there are 2 other options that are cool. This first one is archery. It says each time you gain a foundation, additionally gain a shield token. So that gives you a little bit more defense because you fire arrows at people. And then this one, irrigation, says you can store people on your faction storage, which is very attractive to me. And it's a building bonus, you get 2 food. So this one's actually not that great for me because I can already do this card, basically.
I'm wanting it.
So I think I'm going to pick astronomy for 35 knowledge.
The captain says that we're both lucky we're not playing against the Moloch, which I say that is true. And then Luke says, play some Monolith Arena against him after this, and he'll show you how much he respects you.
Oh, that scares me, Luke. Honestly, first off, Luke is physically more intimidating than most men, but me for sure, because he's bigger than me and also very calm, which... You never know. I don't think Luke would ever hurt anybody, but one time he moved an entire crate at BGG Con that I think weighed like 7,000 pounds, and he's just like, I work out. So I'm going to spend my 35. I'm going to spend my 35 knowledge points. So I will have 3 left over, and you can track from game to game down here on the bottom of the faction player board how many knowledge points you have left over. So I have 3 left over. My total score was 38. And I spent 35 of that. And the cool thing is that next game I will get to start with this astronomy card. It's a feature that gives me that action every round, basically. So it's a bonus that I get in my
And then I can just keep my points and win, right? That's how that works?
Oh, man, I forgot to explain that part. Yes. That's actually a way more viable strategy.
Yeah, totally.
You can pick between these two. So the crazy thing is, as well, in the way this campaign progresses... if you can't buy an invention card at the end of every game, your empire crumbles and you lose. You're out of the campaign. So I am 8 points away from not being able to afford an invention. And the thing is you can only have one invention of each color. So if I wanted to buy another purple invention, I would have to pay the costs and then discard the purple invention that I already have. So that's something else to keep in mind. You can only have one invention of each color.
Yeah, so I think irrigation is going to be very helpful for me, letting me store people on my faction storage and get a building bonus of 2 food, since I struggle with food production.
Yeah.
So,
and there are different inventions for each era, right? So we have these inventions right here. The card back. Sorry, there's a bit of glare. We have the card back showing the different era that you're in. So you'll get to pick different inventions depending on which era you're in. One thing that we also get is we get a province card. So we have this big deck of cards that are provinces, and these are new for Imperial Settlers, but these are starting cards that each faction would have in Empires of the North, right? So you have this little checkerboard pattern up in the top left that says Start. This basically says that each game we're going to start with one of these provinces. The trick is we have to cross off one of our province spaces here, and we have to upkeep each province that we have conquered, basically. So I, for instance, will probably cross off this one that says pay 2 people to maintain this province. So you can think of it as like you're sending guards out to the province to maintain order. But if I don't send 2 people out during the next game, I score 0 points. So it is very important to pay for your provinces, because if you don't, you score no points whatsoever.
which means you wouldn't be able to afford an invention, most likely, unless you had scored enough to buy 2 inventions in this game, which
is doubtful. So we each just get to draw a province card. So the one that I got is actually great for me. I got a fishy gulf. So I got a gulf filled with fish, and it basically just says production 1 apple. So this is a province card that starts for me. It's going to start in my empire each round or each game. The only thing that is a bit of a bummer about these provinces is at the end of the game you lose 5 points for every province card that you have. So not only do you have to pay to upkeep these provinces, you lose points for having these provinces as well. So the farther you reach, the farther you extend yourself, the more you have to kind of prepare, pay for goods to upkeep these different provinces, and actually score more points to kind of keep up your empire. The other thing is if you have 3 games in a row where your score goes down, your empire crumbles. You have to start over again. So it is like this spinning plate routine of keeping everything in order. And David will also get a province card.
So the province card that I get is production. 1 gold for each gray in your empire, and this is phenomenal.
Wow, okay.
Yes.
I did shuffle these cards.
You did, and it counts as a gray and a gold card. So once again, for Romans, this is a great card to start with. So this potentially is a big point generator for me, but it's going to cost me 5 points. So I got to keep it in mind.
Yeah, and so this is one complete game. This is one game in a multi-game campaign with Rise of the Empire. We will probably play this more. We will definitely play this at PortalCon. Coming up on July 11th and 12th. This gameplay is scheduled at the end of the streaming schedule for July 11th. So we're going to be playing this game for 2 hours on that day. And who knows? We may run through a couple of scenarios depending on what the time looks like and if people want us to. But the way this goes is you continue to play games and you progress throughout the different eras. So the more you progress on each of these tracks, you move to different progress sheets. You will keep all of the inventions that you've gained from game to game, but you'll lose all of your provinces. So, for instance, if I go from antique to the Middle Ages, I'm going to lose all of the provinces that I've gained. So it's not like impossible. You're not going to be losing 30 points at the end of every game. But you do get to keep your invention cards, which don't lose you any points at the end of the game. So that's kind of a bonus you get from game to game.
And Captain Link asks if a new player can come in and play after a few games have already been played, which the answer is yes. There are rules in the rule book for a new player coming in and playing. It's an open campaign, so anybody can come in and join at any time. I could be in the modern era or, the industrial era. Somebody can come in and join the game. There's ways to incorporate people into the game. So...
Yeah, it is a completely open, kind of a sandbox campaign. Different people can be in different eras, and the game is balanced to where you can play that way. So I could be in the Middle Ages, David could come in and start the antique era and play. We could play the same game, go for the same types of quests, things like that. I would have, some potential benefits, but you can play in different eras, different players playing in different eras as well.
Definitely a very cool expansion.
This was just like they were talking about. Ignacy was saying this is a development of that free released expansion, but this is fantastic because you've got all the different cards. You've got these very cool. I love these progress sheets because they keep everything tidy and keep everything organized. I have my version of Imperial Settlers. It's actually in the other room. I have my version of Imperial Settlers where I have the laminated copy of the Empire sheet where I had to jaggedly cut off the edges so that it would all fit in the box, and it's got like dry erase marker all over it, and you'd roll dice and all this stuff. So it was definitely a cool free kind of DLC expansion type of thing for this game back in the day. But this is a very cool implementation of that expansion.
Captain Link is asking what's the ultimate goal, and the ultimate goal is just to have the most points
each game, and then the ultimate goal is to get to the modern era.
So
if you go through the antique era, you then get to go to the Middle Ages. If you complete one of the tracks on the Middle Ages, you then get to go to the Industrial Age. And if you complete one of the tracks on the Industrial Age, you have gained the modern era. You've achieved getting the modern era. And that's like the ultimate goal of the campaign, which honestly seems pretty tough.
It does seem pretty tough.
I am planning on playing through this scenario or through this expansion solo, as well as playing with David and my wife as well. I absolutely love playing this game solo as well as with other people, and this is kind of what I cut my teeth on. This is how I figured out that I liked engine building and tableau building and basically whatever was in this box. So having this available to play solo,
this is, I like it.
I want more of this in my life. Also, I really loved it because there were no opponents other than the raised deck. So I was like, man, nobody's attacking me all the time. I can build up my little tableau. This is fantastic.
Except for the raised deck does attack you.
It does, but I just gamed that system and just built nothing but faction cards, which you can do with other players as well.
You can,
it's just tougher.
Yeah, it is tougher.
I like to, and so playing the Japanese factions is especially hard because people can attack your faction locations, and so then it's like, whoa, no one's safe in my empire right now. This is very difficult. But hopefully y'all enjoyed this. This is kind of a first look at the Rise of the Empire expansion. We will be playing this game more in the coming weeks. We will be playing it at PortalCon once again, July 11th and 12th. Make sure and come and check back for that.
Yep.
Where we will play that more.
Subscribe to the Twitch stream if you haven't. The Twitch stream is going to have all of the content from PortalCon on there. You're also going to be able to find that on YouTube. You're going to be able to find it on Facebook. I think it's going to be everywhere. But PortalCon, just go to portalcon.pl to get all the information you need about that. And definitely join us for that. And
do you have any questions in chat? Does anybody have any questions about the expansion, things they want to know?
No questions, just people were saying
what my favorite color is, what David likes to eat on the weekends.
Obviously, everything.
No, probably. What was the Vietnamese barbecue place? Bibimbap.
Bibimbap. That place is amazing.
That's a fantastic restaurant.
If you guys are in or around Dallas, go to Bibimbap.
In 2022, you're gonna love Bibimbap
once the restaurants are open.
but anyway, hopefully you enjoyed that. If you have any questions, absolutely send them over, and we'll try and answer them on social media. Hopefully you continue to watch the Twitch channel. Keep subscribing. We have 158 followers now. I think we had 155 today, so the Twitch channel is growing. That's fantastic to see, and we're going to try and keep more consistent content coming. Keep content coming at you. I know we had 2 streams today. When did the original come out? 23rd?
2012. I believe it was 2012. Yeah.
Okay.
It was either 2012 or 2014. It was one of the even years.
Well, because it was nominated in 2013, it was nominated for a Golden Geek Award.
So then 2012. Yeah.
Yeah. 2012. I discovered it in 2015.
Yeah.
And my life was changed forever.
I think it was whatever day you invited me to your house to play it. It was the day that I discovered it and was like, oh, I like board games.
Discovered that board games were good.
Yeah.
I did.
Yes, right.
Let's see here. Awesome. Thanks, Captain Link. Yeah, when did the original come out? Okay, I don't see any more questions. Certainly looks like a cool expansion. It is, absolutely, Matt. It is very fun. I'm glad to have it. So we hope that was fun. Until next time, we will see y'all later. Thanks so much. Let's end the stream.